Yeah, you guys should be good. You guys should beat them the first time.
Yeah, I know exactly. But
So you guys will be good. Kirk will choke.
I think Kirk will give us one, if not two, three, or four, and hopefully we can.
Dak tried to give us two.
I'm glad you brought up. Let me ask you something about Dak. I don't understand. Like it. Are you? Does anybody believe in him?
I don't.
Yeah, I was reading something today where people were saying that this is the worst season that they've ever seen him play, and blah blah blah. Of course, watch him win a playoff game, and next thing you know, like if he finally beats Tom Brady and wins the playoff game, then all of a sudden they're gonna be like, "Oh, we're back, baby, we're back."
All is good. All is yeah.
So, I guess we'll find out. We'll find out. Will the real Dak Prescott really stand up? I got to imagine that in a very similar circumstance, they were playing a very vanilla offense as well. I didn't watch any of the game, obviously, since it was on the same time. But I was like, all right, I got to imagine that they're doing the exact same thing that we are.
And they got the Monday nighter, I think.
Yeah, they do. In all seriousness, it was almost like I honestly felt like they purposely trying to lose. Just, the way Dak played, he looked awful. And who knows? I know they typically, when they have a really bad game, they'll bounce back the next week and, he'll go lights out. But he looked pretty bad. So
in this case, I hope he don't. I think if they go one and done, we're gonna see a whole new team. Matter of fact, I'll even say if they don't even sniff the NFC Championship game, we're gonna see a whole new team, a whole new regime. McCarthy's gone. Matter of fact, the defensive coordinator, I hear Denver's already trying to holler at him. And he might, you never know. You might take that job.
Well,
I read Denver's looking at, or they got permission from New Orleans Saints for Sean Payton.
Right. Yep. That's true.
He ain't going there. He ain't going there.
Oh no, I don't think so.
I would say any amount of money that he ain't going to Denver.
Too much snow.
Unless they're giving him like
I can see him going to Dallas.
Yeah, easy. Dallas would be the next spot. Dallas would definitely be the next spot.
Well,
so, oh my.
And I get that.
Birthday to you. Happy
I did not know they were doing this, guys.
Happy birthday.
As we announced, it is Sneaky's birthday today. He is 47 today.
45. Now y'all know I'm pissed right now.
Today.
I love you guys. Love you.
That was perfect, Mama Boss. Thank you.
that was awesome.
They know.
Awesome.
They know. Like when I do my show, leave me the F alone. And they did that on purpose today.
That's good. I'm glad that they did.
You gotta love it.
As we get all the
thanks, guys. Thanks, guys. I appreciate the love. I really do. And tomorrow I'll make sure since we're doing, I'm like overwhelmed with the text messages, with the love that everybody's giving me. And I really thank you all a lot. Thank you so much for that. So, and Philly Pork Rind, we're all over social media. I'm sure like when your day comes too, you guys are showered with love and all that good stuff. So
I don't tell anybody.
Yeah. I used to never tell anyone. Okay. And when I was in Seattle, there was a younger woman. She had to be in her mid, 30s or 40s, looked really good for age. She says, I tell people 30 days out when it's my birthday. And this was back in 09, between 09 and 2015, something like that. She was like, because you don't know if you're going to get another one. And sure shit, I would tell people, and then, they would take me to lunch, buy me a cup of coffee or whatever. But then, of course, when their birthday roll around, I would return the favor. And it was just, it's good to, I make a big deal on my birthday, and they know that too. And that's why they did that. Fuckers. They knew what they were doing. But anyway, back to football.
They were able to get it out there. And you get to celebrate your 74th birthday.
It feels like my 87th birthday.
As the show goes on, you just keep getting older. And
right.
Exactly. He's already 96.
Yep. Keep going. I need to retire soon. Hopefully, get some of that Social Security before it runs out.
Yeah, no.
But football. Okay. It's about time that Galladay's contract paid off. We got a $74 million touchdown finally.
He scored a touchdown?
He scored a touchdown, and it was a good play. It was a damn good play that he scored. And
that was the one where he did the tiptoe touch, right?
Yep. And it was Webb's
right
first.
in front of me, and I'm like, wow. And then they showed the replay. I'm like, yeah, he's in.
Yeah.
No questions asked.
But this is something I was not made aware that Webb. He's been in the NFL for what 5-6 years, and that was his first 2017, and it was 5 years or so, and this was his first NFL start. His first touchdown, running it in, his first touchdown pass. I'm like, oh my! Now that's dedication. 6 years. Thank you. I knew it was something like that. I knew it was some crazy number. And I remember when he first got in, people were saying that he's going to be Eli Manning's replacement, and I'm like, I don't know about that.
Well, the fact that he was able to stick with the team for as long as he did is something, especially since you had that. That massive talent like Glennon.
And Glennon.
You had to bring up his name, didn't you?
I did.
You just had to. Well, he was actually released.
Ruined his birthday.
Right, yeah. Oh, fucking Glennon. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cuss. My bad. That slipped. Yeah, we actually released him, and I think he went to Buffalo for a little bit. And then, of course, when Dable came down.
Why do I think he played yesterday?
Say again?
Why did I think he played yesterday? Where would he have played at?
Who, Webb?
Tampa, maybe? Glennon.
Glennon did have a stint in Tampa. Actually, Tampa.
I don't think he's in the league.
Well, he's not in the league anymore. But
I thought he played last night. I thought he played yesterday.
I think so.
No, I don't think he's in the league. I don't think he signed with anyone.
How do you feel? What do you think about the fact that
Seattle a flag football league
gets in there? Seattle gets in there. Green Bay does
I felt so horrible for Detroit, man.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It goes all the way back to the fact that there was that 45-43 game. That's the game that came into question. And it's like, wow, it's like that was so far back in the season, and to give up that many points to Seattle
and still lose. Well, I mean, actually, you scored 43 points in an NFL game and still lose.
Yeah.
I think everybody except people that were fans of the Seahawks wanted him to miss that kick because the moment the Seahawks won that game, Detroit was eliminated, and it would have been awesome to see, Detroit and Green Bay play a play-in game, if you will.
Yep.
It would have been really, really good to. I knew Detroit was going to be in the playoffs. I don't think anybody wanted to play them, to be honest. I don't think anybody.
I think they would have been dangerous. I really do.
Oh yeah, at the 7th seed.
I actually kind of think you put them and Jacksonville. Jacksonville's also going to make a little bit of a wave.
Where the hell did they come from? Like where did they come from?
Just they finally bought into the system.
Yeah.
When you think about this and how every team, just about minus a few, but every team was like a tale of two halves. The seasons were like a tale of two halves. It was like as much as there was from Green Bay. I mean, Green Bay was like what, 2-6?
Yeah.
To go 8-9.
Back, yep.
And I think the same way, like even the Giants. I mean, they were 6-1 and used to end 9-6. Even much harder season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's there really was. I mean, at one point in the season, every East team was in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Up until even after we beat Washington, we were in the playoffs up until, was it Cleveland when you guys got eliminated?
Yeah.
It was the Cleveland
last
game?
week.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I mean, I really do. I'm really proud of the NFC East, where we came from last year being in the least, and now we're actually, I mean, all of our teams were competing. And I hope this is just
well, we weren't the least last year, but you're 2 years ago.
Well, we were at least, the last year too, we didn't have, I mean, there was only two teams that were competing, for the playoff spot. But I'm just saying, like, as of right now, this year with the turnaround that we had, I mean, because the Eagles, you guys start off slow last year and then found the wild card. Correct. And then now, we were selected to be, or projected to be, the bottom of the NFC East. And thank God, that was not the case this year. Who the hell decided to start Wentz?
We're still asking that question.
That should be a Tuesday. So I'm okay. Now that this is brought up, I've been hearing from all the commentators and, a lot of the tweets is that when Rivera started Wentz, that was one, a questionable decision, and two, it somewhat lost the team. Did you get that feeling at all, Pork Rind?
I definitely feel like the team, I don't know if they lost confidence in Ron Rivera. I think that I definitely could tell the difference. It's two different teams when Taylor was in the game and then when Carson was in the game. Mm-hmm. You could just tell, like, the offensive linemen, they weren't real quick to go pick them up after they let them, get sacked back there. Whereas with Taylor, they, pick them up, dust them off, and get back in the game. But yeah, I mean, it's sad. I mean, in the beginning of the season, I had high hopes. I was like, all right, well, we're gonna roll with Carson. He's got a good arm, and should have listened to Jamie. I hate to admit it, but I should have listened to Jamie.
Well, let me ask you this. With Carson, this was just a 1-year deal, correct? Or was it a 3-year?
3 years.
Okay, because I know it was like $29 million. That's one thing I remember.
Yeah, it was 27. Yep.
Let's just say the football gods listened to what the Commander fans wanted them to do and give Heineke the key to the keys to the Commanders for 1 year. Do you think he would be consistent enough to, at least get you in the playoffs? Do you think he would be able, with who you have right now on the field, do you think that with Heineke, behind that line, that he could put you in position for the playoffs next year?
I mean, I think we would have definitely won the Titans game. But outside of that, I mean, Detroit, we just got smacked.
As did we.
I mean, we might have won one more game, but I don't Yeah, I mean Heineke. You know,
That's
he
all
lost
you
a
would have
couple.
needed was one more game.
Yeah,
Just one more game.
yeah.
Just think about that. That the tie actually helped the Giants. It hurt you guys.
Yeah. Well, because we followed up with the tie, although we lost the next week to you guys.
Even though
I mean, we came back and
say,
beat. You know, we had to win.
One. Yeah, I say one game. I say one game, but really, I mean, shit. Who knows if we would have lost to the Browns last week if Taylor would have started.
Right.
So, you know, it's one of those. Who knows? I mean, it's unfortunate, but always next year.
Yeah.
Washington has had a real
the
tough
voice,
yeah.
The face of sadness.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
The face of sadness. Pork rind. You know, and now, you know, again, like any word on, you know, the possible sale.
I mean, supposedly, you know, the first round of bids had to be submitted 2 weeks ago, I think. And I saw, or I heard, $7 billion was one of them
with a B.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, the thing about it is, it won't be finalized until.
Max, stop hiding behind Linda. Stop hiding behind Linda, Max. We all know who it is. I don't want to hear it. And trust me, I'd love to see us a third time where you guys will realize what a real SmackDown looks like.
You know what? We'll see. I'm gonna hold my smack talk about, because I really do think, you know, it'll be a different game, because it's hard to beat three teams in 1 year, or the same team three times in 1 year.
3 times, yeah.
So we'll see. I will say this, I'm not. I'm
see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. Matter of fact, I want to say this now before the playoffs actually start. I had someone in my office who doesn't even watch football that I know of. He tells me he doesn't have a favorite team. It was funny because he predicted the national championship. He said TCU and Georgia, and I'm like, well, I mean, you're picking Georgia. I mean, who's not going to pick Georgia? But I was taken back from the TCU pick. But anyway, he said he came in the office.
When did he predict this? When did he predict it? When it was just the 4 teams?
Yeah. When it was the playoffs, yeah. I mean, you got a 50-50 chance. I get it.
Right, exactly.
And then of course he picks Georgia to win. We'll see if that holds water. But he said, you know, I could honestly see the Giants going to the NFC Championship game and losing in the conference game. And that was before the playoff seeding. That's obviously before, you know, you guys were getting into the number 1 slot, whatever. And I'm like, I like the way you think, but it's a long way. We got a lot of football until then.
Yeah, and the only way that would happen is if the Seattle Seahawks happen to win while you guys beat the Vikings.
Yeah, and then we would. Who's the second seed?
Wind up going up against either Dallas.
Oh yeah,
49ers are the second seed, right?
Yeah, Dallas is the second seed. So we would go to that. We would go to
Dallas or Tampa.
No, we would go to San Francisco.
Hold on. Dallas isn't the second
49ers.
seed.
The 49ers would have to
Are
lose.
they?
That means Seattle would come to us automatic. That means
that's right, because
only play.
That's because
Tampa,
that's right. That's right.
Twice.
I don't have the playoff tree in front of me. You're right. Because Seattle is the lowest seed in the NFC.
I know it was you, Mac. I know it was you. I know Linda doesn't talk like that. So I knew it was you, Mac.
That's funny.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, I got the playoff.
I don't need to be mad. I know that yesterday was vanilla and ugly.
Yeah.
You know,
it was
bland football.
It was a boring game. I'm going to be honest. Right when I saw Webb, I mean, I knew they were already talking about resting their players. It's bad when my son said, "Do I got to watch this?" He's like, "Do I got to watch this game?" Yes. Yes, funny. You do. If I got to sit through it, because it was boring. I mean, it was, you know.
Actually, it was kind of interesting to watch the different he was doing some very exotic style blitzes.
Oh,
which I thought was interesting, like really weirdo blitzes, which was kind of cool. I guess if you're going to do that, you're going to go. If you want to go crazy, go crazy. I mean, it was like, hey, let's see what happens if we do this.
Let's see what it looks like if we.
Right.
Yeah.
So I found that interesting that they were working on stuff like that.
And I'm sorry, I just have a feeling that we're going to be all right against Minnesota this week. I think win or loss, it's going to be monumental. The fact that we're in the playoffs, and last week I actually had I don't want to say an argument. I had a gentleman's conversation about resting our players. Like, what should we do? Should we rest our players? Should we play our? I mean, that was just so refreshing to have that conversation. I know,
Gabe, you are probably much too young, but every time I see the name Wink Martindale, I think of the game Tic-Tac-Toe. He was a game show host. So that's what that guy was named after. He was named after a game show host. Or maybe that's his father, who even knows.
I thought you were going to say, what's that cartoon? He was the antler, and you had the little squirrel guy.
Bullwinkle.
Bullwinkle, yeah.
Bullwinkle, yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Rocky and Bullwinkle.
That's what I think of sometimes when I hear Wink Martindale. But it's going to be exciting this weekend.
Yeah, real exciting.
Yeah. So that's a new thing that's going to be happening from here on out. They're going to.
I hate that Monday Night Football playoffs. It's trash.
I did too.
I don't mind.
I didn't like it before last year. Before the game started, but then, you come home from work. Like I will be next week. No, wait. Next week I think I have a 3-day next week.
Yeah, Martin Luther King Day.
Yeah, shoot. Okay, come on, Sneaky. Don't let him get you speak your mind. We got. Oh, of course we got this. I'm not worried about it. Man, we got this.
I was planning on pulling a sneaky and going down to Tampa and watch Dallas get beat week 1, round 1.
Oh,
but now that's on Monday. I can't.
Yeah,
I can't. Yeah, because if it would have been a Sunday game, I was off Monday, so I could have easily flown back Monday. But
not this week.
Not this weekend.
Well, then why don't you just go? Watch the Giants and stuff
in Minnesota.
Yeah, report back to me. Let me know every little detail. What's going on? No.
I like Minnesota. They will have. Where do you think they will have the AFC Championship if it goes to a neutral site?
Now that's one thing I don't like. I do not like the fact that they.
Yeah, that was crap.
You have to think about it. Literally, we have not been on since that happened.
Right.
Literally,
happened. Yeah.
Right.
Literally, it was like we had signed off.
Yep.
And a half hour later, the world stopped on Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we haven't had the opportunity to really talk about it at all. And I firmly believe that Cincinnati got screwed.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I got screwed too.
Yeah, you did. you did. Okay. So those that don't know, we all had a fantasy football league. Okay. Us four plus Jim Jeffcoat and Byron Williams. Jim Jeffcoat, former Dallas Cowboy, 2-time Super Bowl champ, blah, 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 blah. And Byron Williams, the New York Football Giant, great wide receiver. So, and Porkrind and myself was playing in the championship game, in the Super Bowl, if you will. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I was doing. So when the game started, we had just got off the air. You had Burrow.
I had Burrow.
And
went down there, scored a touchdown right off the get-go.
He had to go off. I think he was projected 26 points or something like that. But
all I needed was 22.
No, I think it was more than that because I was up, and I was up pretty substantial. And even though he was projected what he was projected, I would have still won. He would have had to have gone off. Okay. And the moment they cut to commercial after the injury, I still had my iPad up, but when they cut back to the game and they said they were doing CPR on the guy.
Yeah.
I closed my laptop.
Yeah.
I mean, my iPad. I'm like, okay, this is beyond the game right now.
Right.
So
I it's interesting because I didn't watch the game. I literally chose not to leave the house, and if I don't leave the house, I can't watch sports because I don't have cable. And the next thing I know, I'm getting messages saying that somebody just had a heart attack or cardiac arrest on the field. I'm like, what? And ultimately, it's like, so, and then people are saying that they're going to cancel the game, and I'm like, they can't. You know what I mean? I'm like, because I have no frame of reference of what's going on.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That still, it's still out there that, okay, it's beyond me that there is somebody who literally had his heart stop on the field.
Right.
Because I didn't see it. You know what I mean? And ultimately, that's a whole different world. Like when you're seeing it, I got to imagine that the 30 million people that were watching the game, and then the moment that it gets all over the internet, the other 30 million people that are watching TV turn to the game. And literally now you got 60 million people watching the replays of this guy keeling over.
Yeah, it was horrible. It really was.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you, Pork Ron, but I saw it in real time. At
first I thought, okay, he's concussed. And then when they showed it again, and then they were talking about CPR and everything, I'm like, oh my God. I mean, I had a hard time falling asleep. It really affected me. So yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, and the fact not only the way you see him collapse, I mean, he made the tackle.
Yep, got up.
He got up and then just felt
disoriented and fell back.
And
scary.
For me, what hurt, like, what really stands out to me is like the emotion that the players had on the field.
When they panned in on Josh Allen and he had his hands like this, I was like, oh my God, it's really serious.
I'm like, what's going on right now?
Yeah,
what is going on the field?
Because that was right before they had said that they had started CPR and everything. Right. So I was like,
I knew something was different when they panned back to the game, and then they said, status is unchanged. We'll come back after these local. I'm like,
When they kept on taking breaks, I was like, this ain't good.
Now, and I want to throw this out there too, because we talked about it a little bit. I know you guys are familiar with the tweet that Skip put out there. Okay. It's 8:30 when he put the tweet out there. Are you familiar with this, Philly?
Oh yeah.
I am. I'm familiar with the tweet.
Okay. What is your guys' take on? I thought it was the wrong time for that tweet.
Yeah.
You got a man that legitimately his heart stopped. We could say he was clinically dead on the field, and you're worrying about playoffs right now. You're worried about the game. That's second. That's just my opinion.
That's not how that worked. That's not really how that tweet was. Beyond whatever Skip Bayless is, trust me, I've got no love for Skip Bayless at all. So It's not like I've got his back on this.
Okay.
However, what he wrote was exactly what I was thinking when I didn't see it. I'm like, there ain't no way they can cancel this game. This game is way too important to just cancel it.
Right. So
his tweet was, and when you read it with an objective eye and not trying to be angry, because that's what everybody became. Like everybody became angry because let's face it. And I'm going to put this into a much bigger perspective here. Fans of the NFL and in football in general worship their football teams and the players on their football teams like gods. They aren't gods, screw me here, but they are worshipped like gods. And when one of our superheroes is having a situation that occurred, it is a big whoa. I tell you what, not for nothing. You know, the four of us are doing a show, and one of us happens to keel over. You know, God forbid.
The show would go on.
Not the show. It's not only the show go on. I mean, it would be.
I'm kidding.
It would be, you know, but it would be like we wouldn't get the same type of outpouring of affection and love that he got for being on the field.
I disagree. I think we would get. Well, I think we all would get some kind of. It would be similar, but not to that magnitude of, you know, because he's an NFL player, and we're just four guys that love our team. Now, so this is what Skip said. So those that don't know, the 8:30 p.m. January 2nd, 2023. No doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game, but how? This is late in the season. A game of this magnitude is critical to the regular season outcome, which suddenly seems so irrelevant. And now I think it's up to interpretation of what he means by would suddenly seem so irrelevant.
Like that, and everything that's going on, everything that's going on,
right.
irrelevant.
And I think, and again, at the moment, and you got to realize though, at the moment he tweeted that, the guy is dead on the field at the moment. Now, of course, you know, you let the dust settle and, you know, he's showing improvement. I mean, I know this is like, now this is, you know, we some of us can say it was somewhat blown out of proportion. I mean, we could probably talk about that as well. But at the moment, when he says would suddenly seem so irrelevant, it's like, how is he saying that? Is he saying it like in a like, now all of a sudden it seems so irrelevant? Or is he like all of it? Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, how do people and I think the way that people see Skip, the way people that they know Skip Bayless, I think they took it as a snooty comment to the situation at hand. And I could be wrong, but I'm just saying, like, just knowing, and I know Skip knows that people don't like him. Okay.
He don't care.
And he don't give a damn because he's still cashing those checks in the bank. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yep. Why do you think he doesn't follow anybody on Twitter?
No, he could care, but how many followers does he have? You know,
he's got a lot.
So, and again, like I said, and he's always one to go across the grain or against the grain, however you want to use that term.
Typical Cowboy fan.
And right, exactly. And I think that's where the outrage is. Like at that moment, you know, you know, at the moment, I probably just saw someone die on live TV. And he's talking about a football play. He's talking about a football game. Yeah. He's talking about playoffs. I think that's where the outrage was. Yeah. I mean, Pork Riot, am I misspoken? I mean,
that's exactly how I felt. I was like, that was pretty damn insensitive of him. You know, I mean,
so it became a timing thing. I mean, that's
right. Really, I mean, that's all it really is.
Yeah.
It was a timing thing. Like I said, when people were talking about it, and thank God it didn't happen while we were on.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I wanted you to.
Yeah, because I had mentioned it to you guys. I'm like, with everything that happened there, like, because I can't watch the game and I can't see what's happening here, like, it becomes a matter of, again, how do you cancel this game? What happens now? So, and it's not a matter of being insensitive. It's just a matter of the human aspect hasn't hit me because I wasn't paying attention to it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And you know what? That's fair. That's fair.
So now he's paying attention to it, and
Yeah.
the human aspect didn't hit him. He went practical.
Right.
You know, and that's really what it comes around to. It's like, all right, well, he's being practical rather than doing whatever. Because I tell you, when that all happened, there were people in the NFL that immediately had to go into what are we going to do?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Because this is the first time something like this ever. I've watched so many football games. I have never seen a game canceled.
No, I've never seen a game canceled. No.
Not even for weather. I saw the fog game with the well, yeah, I mean the COVID situation. You know,
well,
they proposed that.
Even with the snow, where we had a bunch of snow and they put the game on till Tuesday.
Yeah, or a hurricane or whatever.
Yeah, you're right. But this is one of those. There is no protocol for when someone, you know, loses pulse on a football field.
Hey, guess what? There will be one now.
Definitely. And I know the NFL is getting a lot of slack because they're saying that they took too long. They took too long to make the decision to post the game. I'm like, are you kidding me? Do you understand the logistics of a football game? I mean, refs can't just say game's over. We're done. Yeah. No, they got to call their boss, and their boss got to call the boss, and then eventually it goes up to, you know, Goodell. And not only Goodell, but the Players Association, they also got to agree on it too.
Yep.
So there's a lot of pieces to this puzzle when it comes to an NFL
game that aren't all on speed dial.
Exactly.
Right when they're sitting by the phone.
They will be now.
Well, no, I mean I don't know that they will be now, but and then so get beyond that now. Okay,
right.
So now the game is canceled. I feel that Cincinnati got the raw deal for being compassionate. Ultimately,
right?
Being compassionate, they got the raw end of the stick. Yep. And you know, when you take the human aspect of this out of it, you know, realistically, Buffalo should have forfeited the game. And I'm not talking about right. I mean, it doesn't have to be, oh, well, we got to forfeit because we had a player that just literally died on the
right.
It's not what I'm talking about. But I mean, the fact that Cincinnati, I mean, wouldn't have been a very human thing to do, but they could have said, hey, listen, we got to play this game. This game is very important.
Right.
And then at that point, Buffalo has got to make the decision whether they want to forfeit or not. I mean, because, you know, when I think about, all right, so now you just had this happen. Obviously, the players are going to be a little bit more distraught.
Yep.
You know, all this stuff that's going on. And what happens when you have a situation that you are privy to, that somebody has a heart attack or somebody has an aneurysm in front of you, and you're watching people do everything they can to try to revive that person, the first thing you want to do is go hug your family.
Exactly. Yeah.
So as Buffalo, you know, as any member of the Buffalo organization who was in Cincinnati and did not have their family there, first thing they want to do is go home.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm going home. Bye. You know what I mean? I got to go be with my family because who knows when the next moment in time is going to happen.
Right.
When the next number is going to be called. And that's what I get. Cincinnati had the opportunity to say, well, wait a minute, guys. The number 2 seed and possibly the number 1 seed up for grabs here. We need to play this game. So, no, you can't go home till afterwards. We got to play. Now, that would have been, they would have gotten chastised completely by the world to do that. So, and they're human beings too. They're not going to do that.
Right.
But at that time, it still was Buffalo who should have, hey, listen, we appreciate everything that they did at that moment in time. And we understand that, the human aspect of this was much more important than the game. And because of that, to show our appreciation for Cincinnati being human about it all, we're going to forfeit. But no, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. The NFL said, okay, well, that's a no game. That's a no contest then. And Cincinnati, you're screwed. And the process of this, hey, you get the number one seed.
And I think that's where the NFL got it wrong. I actually thought they were going to play the game to a tie, something. And I hate the fact that the owners even agreed on playing the AFC Championship game on a neutral site. Last time I checked, Buffalo didn't lose their way out of having home field advantage, for the first 2 rounds. And since he didn't win their way, to not having their first round game, at home, I think the NFL did that wrong. Can we talk about the league and players?
Player association that they're right. He's not fully vested. I mean, I'll be honest. I wouldn't be surprised if he plays again.
I'm not. I wouldn't be.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he never plays again.
Right.
But I wouldn't be surprised if he does play again.
Yeah, he got discharged today.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he went home.
Yeah.
He went home. Not only that, like his lungs are like 100% healed.
Yeah.
The lungs are 100% healed. They wanted to see him back to pre-accident condition.
Yeah. 8 o'clock. I said they want him like the way it was. He was at 8 o'clock that evening.
Yep.
And
but he is.
He's healed. I could see him easily getting back next year. I don't see him playing at all.
No, I don't think he plays
this year.
This year. I think it's whatever.
I wouldn't even be surprised if I see him on the sideline. Not this week. I don't want to say this week or next week, but I mean, if it's a conference championship game or even Super Bowl, I really do see him on the sideline. And I don't know if you guys heard this too. Yeah, they're ensuring that he gets his full contract or his full year salary. It was like 3-point-something million that he's going to get this year. So,
well, he was going to get that anyways.
Right.
But they are going to take care of him as if he was a fully vested.
Right. Now, my question is, let's say he does come back. How do you mentally come back from that? And I'll answer that pretty quickly. He has no memory of it.
Right. He has no memory of it. The first question that he asked was,
did we win the game?
Did we win the game?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I'm pretty sure he has no memory of him. I don't even know what he remembers of, but obviously he doesn't remember passing out. That he doesn't, I'm just curious. I mean, the fact that he said that is a miracle.
Yeah, crazy, yeah.
I mean, that means he is fully aware of his surroundings, the where he's at, the time frame, all that good stuff. But now the question is, at what point does he remember? And again, I don't know if you guys played, high school football. I mean, I played semi-pro, but that was different. I got a concussion and the wife told me I'm done. So I didn't get a chance to get back on the field. But when I played high school ball and, I twisted my ankle, high ankle sprain, I was out for a week. When I came back, you're a little hesitant. You know what I'm saying? You're kind of, protecting that injury a little bit. But after that first hit, you're back to normal.
Yeah.
You're back to suit up for that next play. So I'm really curious as to not only when will he come back, but how will he have that mental, will there be like a mental block of how to perform, or even if that's even an issue?
Well, my question is that if this was a 1 in 25,000 hit, like if it's it was a 1 in a million chance, and now it's a 1 in 100,000 chance. It was 1 in 25,000 hit chance, and now it's a 1 in 2,500 chance. At what point is the line in the sand drawn?
Right.
Well, I mean, think about that. The same type of situation could be he got hit in a car accident at the right time, and the airbag deployed and hit him in the chest. And he could have had the same type of situation occur in that regards. Because the hit wasn't severe. It was a hit, but it wasn't like that he was so out of breath. It wasn't like when Thibodeau was sitting there doing snow angels
for 57 minutes. We know.
Right. Exactly.
On Foles.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the same thing, to be honest, the same thing to say about Tua. How many more concussions does he need to retire? He's already had
1 year.
What he had. So he had 2
year.
in 1 year, and then he did not show any concuss. They're saying that he wasn't concussed during his last game. It's the fact he had symptoms that Monday. That's why he's on concussion protocol. And he might not even start in this playoff game.
No, he probably won't.
Yeah. So it's like, at what point does an athlete that, is playing a sport that's pretty much all they know, are they going to say, you know what? My life is more important. I mean, that's a sad reality that a lot of athletes are going to face. And if they don't have the bag, and if they don't have the ring, they'll be less likely
Eric
to
Lindros.
Say what?
Eric Lindros, one of the greatest hockey players to play the game in the 21st century.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At the time, and here it is. Concussions, and it ran in his family. His brother wound up out of hockey because of concussions, and then he wound up, coming out because of concussions. So, I mean, the NFL is going to have a lot to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they always do, but there's going to be a lot more on the plate, I think, this year. And because they're going to have to, they're going to wind up doing mandatory minimums, I think. That if you're in concussion protocol, if you get a concussion, you are going to be out for 2 weeks. And I think that they're going to just mandatory.
I agree with that. Yeah, I can see that.
And then on top of that, if you have a second concussion, you're out for the remaining portion of the season.
Right. Yep. I can see that happening.
So it's going to. I don't know that they're going to be able to do that because can you imagine how that's going to be with Patrick Mahomes? You know what I mean? I'm taking that one. Realistically, he should not have played in that Super Bowl, against Tampa.
Why? What happened? Well, are you talking about the week before?
You got a concussion. Yeah.
In the previous game, and they kept him in, and he was still way out of sorts. And you could tell by the way that he was leading the team that he was nowhere near. Anywhere near.
So are you talking about the Super Bowl against the 49ers or the one that they won? Well, that was the one that they won.
The one that they lost against Tampa.
Okay. I don't even remember who they played in the NFC Championship game.
They played the Bills.
That's right. They did play the Bills because then again last year that's where they played in the divisional. Okay, yeah, that's right. Yep.
So I mean, I think that they're going to have to. Well,
I think
or you're going to wind up you're going to wind up somebody who's going to, that's what it's going to take. It's going to take somebody going maybe brain dead, God forbid, but becoming a vegetable, and before somebody's going to do that. And can you imagine that happening on a football field? I mean, we saw what type of backlash there was from somebody, who, like I said, had cardiac arrest on a very fluke hit.
Yeah.
And now you've got, like I said, somebody who happens to have that type of situation occur with a brain injury.
Well, let's not forget Tua when he was on that Cincinnati Bengal field, and his hands was like all messed up, and that was even a neurological symptom of a brain injury. So you're right, Jamie. Something's going to happen to where someone's going to have a serious injury on the field.
Yeah, it was in Cincinnati.
Yeah, that was in Cincinnati. Yeah.
Yep.
A Monday night too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was their whiteout game.
Yeah. And what happened? They took them off the field and they put the players back on the field and they were right back at it. It's going to be unfortunate. It is going to look. Football is a violent sport. I mean, they're trying to make it as safe as they can right now with the targeting calls and the personal fouls and all this whatnot and proper what do they call that? Defenseless player, defenseless receiver. Yeah. You touch Tom Brady with a feather, it's a personal foul. It's just gonna look. It's like a gladiator-esque sport. Somebody's going to get hurt. And I think that's what's the camaraderie about football, to be honest. That's what brings that's what makes a family on a football team. Knowing that, God forbid, that one hit, it might take you out, out of the game. I'm not saying it's going to kill you, but
right.
Flair's going to sign. Oh, okay.
This is going back to the concussion stuff,
right? And the Dolphins ended up firing that doctor they had.
Yeah.
Because Tua got concussed in the Buffalo game, but they said it was his ankle.
Did it remind you of Any Given Sunday?
A little bit, yeah.
Any Given Sunday.
It did, yeah. Yep. But Dennis Quaid, he hurt his back or something. It was his vertebrae or whatever.
So, anyways, but before we get running out of here, because we're almost done our hour here, let's we're going to go a little late this time around because let's call all the games. Let's
all right.
Play them now. So
let's
we're going to go all the games here. Saturday, Seahawks versus the 49ers. The 49ers are a 10-point favorites, opening up at 42.5 over and under.
I got San Francisco.
Yeah, I've got San Fran too. I don't see them getting beat. Not at home. 10 points.
Where is? Oh, there it is. Okay.
San Fran versus the Seahawks. And so you have San Francisco. I'm writing them down now.
Yep. San Fran.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, I got San Francisco for that as well. Then we have the Chargers versus Jacksonville.
That's going to be a good one.
Jacksonville is a 1-point dog at home. 8:15 on a Saturday.
Man, oh man.
I'm gonna go with Jack. I'm gonna go with the home team. I'm gonna take the home team. Not by much. It's gonna be a field goal. I mean, I like how Lawrence is playing, and I'm just not. I like Herbert, but I'm not quite sold on Herbert yet. So, and I could be wrong.
Jacksonville's defense won that game for him. I don't know if it was necessarily Lawrence, but oh man, I'm gonna take Chargers. I like Herbert, man. I think Herbert over Lawrence. I'm gonna take Chargers.
I like their running back Ray, that Eton Ray. He helped me a lot during the fantasy football. So
yeah,
no pun intended.
But I agree. Dougie P. Dougie P knows how to get his guys up and running for playoffs.
Yeah.
He
just
should
does.
wear a Super Bowl ring. That'd be a way to motivate players.
Yeah, there you go.
You want
And
this?
so
You want this? Let's go get it. You have an opportunity.
I'm going to go with Jacksonville as well, which then brings us to Sunday. And we have the 1:00 game is the Bills versus the Dolphins. The Bills are 10.5-point favorite.
I got to go Bills.
Bills by 21.
Because I think Bridgewater might start. So I'm going Bills. Too much emotion. Too much emotion not to go with the Bills.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Miami can't play in cold weather.
Now, I'm going to tell you right now, it may not be Miami's year this year, but that mad scientist, he's going to put something on next year. Watch. We'll see. But go ahead. All right. So
next would be the New York Giants versus the Minnesota Vikings. A very telling line at -3 and over under 48.
I'm going to say Giants, 27-20.
I'm going to say the Giants, 27-26.
We're going to do a 0 blitz, but this time we're going to double Jeffries.
And I also believe that the Giants are going to, Cousins just can't win a game that matters. He cannot win a game that matters.
He did win one playoff game. He did beat Drew Brees. Yeah. So
yeah, he did.
We'll say I got somebody on the.
Yeah, it was the defense that won that game. It was the defense that won that game. Let's face facts.
Yeah.
I got somebody on here saying Vikings 34-24. I don't know about that. That's too high.
Yeah, the Baltimore Ravens versus the Cincinnati Bengals.
I'm going Bengals.
Yeah, me too.
They don't even know if
Lamar Jackson will be back.
They haven't even seen him since his injury, they're saying. Like, damn. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go Cincinnati, too. I think that you just can't bet against Joe Burrows.
No.
So, yeah, and we got a few other people that say, hey, here we go. Giants in an upset.
Okay. I'll take it. Hey.
Giants because of Cousins.
Hey, I'll take the love right now. Shoot.
And then last, and, maybe a little least, the Dallas Cowgirls.
Bucks by 15.
Yeah, Bucks by 15. Oh, man. As much as I don't want to say Cowboys' name, I think Cowboys will bounce back. I think Dak will have a pretty decent game. I think they'll run the ball. So I'm going to take the Cowboys. But I hope I'm wrong.
I think that, history repeats itself and they don't win. They don't win. I think that Dallas loses to Tampa Bay, and it just is the way it is. Somehow, some way, they figure out a way to pull it out.
Yep.
I just can't bet against Brady in the playoffs.
Trust me. I don't want to, but I want to put that voodoo on the Cowboys.
You're doing the reverse psychology.
I'm doing the reverse psychology.
I'm saying that Cowboys gonna win, but
what I want to really happen is,
and last but not least here, how about Houston screwing it up again,
dude,
winning the game?
I had Freddie. So Freddie came to the game. Him, Cheryl, and Joe, they all came and surprised me on they came in Friday. I came in Saturday. And Freddie was sat next to me. He's a big Texans fan. And he's like, he said this a couple weeks ago. He's like, watch, we will screw this up. This isn't the first time. We will screw this up. Sure enough, they're losing. And then somebody just looked back and was like, oh my God, Houston just won. Freddie was like, "Are you kidding me?" He was like, "I told you," and I was like, "Yeah, you did. You told me they were going to do this." And then Lovie Smith got fired last night.
I don't understand why. They just gave him a year. They didn't even give that man a chance to have his own players.
Yeah.
You know, that just
I wouldn't want it.
pisses me off.
That's just, you want to talk about dumpster fires. That's what it is. They are dumpster fires.
Where, Houston?
Yeah. Houston is, they're in the same boat with the ownership.
Yeah, because they're not going to. So Chicago is probably going to trade down. You know, Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
That would be smart. Yeah,
that would be smart of them.
That'd be smart because look, this would be the second year of that GM, and if he would be smart. He'd be like, "What do you want for it?" Because
right.
the Raiders will trade up because the Raiders are sitting at 7 right now. I wouldn't be shocked if McDaniels would take that number 1 pick and shoot, or that's if Brady don't go to the Raiders after the season. I mean, there's another story.
I've been seeing that a lot.
Cowgirls not beating Tampa. Playoff Brady is different, and after losing to Washington, they're done.
Hey, I hope that's accurate. I hope so.
We'll see. But anyways, everybody, thank you very much for joining us. We really do appreciate it. We will be back next week, not celebrating Sneaky's birthday, his 118th birthday. So
happy 121st birthday, Sneaky.
I'm going to be on Good Morning America tomorrow.
The oldest.
You're the oldest man alive.
The oldest super fan in the NFL, Sneaky G at 146.
146. He saw the Revolutionary War and the Civil War.
But he came over on the Mayflower.
I was on the boat with Noah.
Thank you very much.
Anyway,
coming out and hanging out with us tonight. We really do appreciate it. We'll be back next week, hopefully with 4 of us strong. As True Boo is going to be a little upset with the referee saying that he got snowed because somebody touched Tom Brady the wrong way.
Right. And I'll be bringing back the Photoshop game where everybody joins me on the couch.
Yeah, that's
there you go.
Hey, I'm just happy that I'm not on the couch for 1 more week. I'll take it. It's been a long time.
And you can't put me on the couch this week.
Not this week. Not this week.
Man.
You might have
playoffs.
Super Bowl trophy.
We're talking about playoffs. Trying to win a game.
Thank you very much. And we'll be back next week. And as always,
let's go Giants. Oh!
Go Birds!
Happy birthday, Sneaky.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate you.
Yeah, we don't need to hear about the Washington football team.